Hey, you there. Thank you for watching. And welcome to Force Alliance Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's westernmost player is the 700 of Zavatar, going first land as a Cybran in Tropical Ocean Blue. To his east is Artifacts. He is a Cybran going first land. He is in Pac-Man Yellow, and he is a 1400. And rounding out the front line for Team 1 is Mock Saisti going first land as a UEF. He is in Batman Gray, and he is a 1200. First rear guard here for Team 1 is Swee going first land. He is a 1700 in Ruby Red as a UEF. And last but not least for Team 1 is Yoji going first land as another UEF here for Team 1. He is an Imperial Gray, and he is a 2000 rated, the highest rank on Team 1 and in the game overall. So for Team 1 side out of the map, they have 2 Cybrans and 3 UEF, no Aeon and no Seraphim for Team 1. Down here in the southwest, we have the Royal Purple player of Game Ender. Going first land, he is a Cybran, and he is a 1200. To his east in Orange to Color Orange, we have Fong going first land as the first Seraphim to be introduced. He is a 1600. And in Royal Blue to the east, we have Freedom Cobra going first land. He is an Aeon, and he is a 900. In the rear guard slot, we have Snowy 801 going first land, second air. He is in Lighter Shred Pink, and he is in 1800, the highest rank on Team 2. And to round out Team 2's backline, we have Not Jackie going first land, second air in Sherry Crimson at a 1700. So for Team 2's makeup, they have 2 Seraphim, 1 Cybran, 1 UEF, and 1 Aeon. All of the races are represented for Team 2. Let's take a look at the reclaim before our players scoop it all up. We have 39,000 reclaim for 10 players, making it a little bit under 4K mass per player. And speaking of mass, of course, let's take a look at the mass point layout here. Let's take a look at Team 2's. They have a Trimex here, a Trimex here, another one here, and a lot of mexes. They're all one-offs, but there's a lot of them here in the eastern side, and of course, obviously, the western side. So it's going to be a lot of fought over mass here, especially in the west and eastern lane. In the middle lane, these mexes, they'll definitely be owned by only one player. And that's realistically about it. We'll have contention points obviously here because the middle can divert forces west and east. So both of the middle players have to be aware of what's going on the western and eastern fronts. And looks like there's 2 air players for Team 2 and 2 air players for Team 1, meaning that it's going to be 2 air and 3 land. No Navy, of course. There's a little bit of water in each of the corners just to hide comms, but besides that, Navy is not going to make an appearance. I would be surprised, to say the least, if there's anybody going to build any cruisers or Atlantis or whatever in these tiny little ponds. So let's speed the game back up and take a look at what's going on. We have moving out from both of the comms on both teams. Most of the comms on both teams. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the comms on Team 1 that have left their main base. Same number here for Team 2. The only difference between them, it does look like Artifacts might be moving to the... Nope, he's not moving yet. One of Team 1's frontline players hasn't moved, and one of Team 2's backline players has not moved in some sort of direction. It looks like it's going to be 2v1 on the western side here for Team 1, 2v1 here on the eastern side for Team 2, and so far nobody in the middle to challenge Fong. We do see a transport outbound here from Yoji. It does look like he's going to drop a nice little mech marine to guard those engineers, and again, 39,000 reclaim. Our players are definitely going to be fighting over the mass as much as they can, and it does look like possibly the first casualty of the game will either be an engineer or the mech marine. That will be an engineer outbound from Yoji, killed off by Fong's commander. We do see a little mantis kind of hanging out next to Fong's commander from his teammate of Game Ender. We do see transports also outbound here from Sweet to the southwest, trying to grab the reclaim and the mechs over here. It does look like Game Ender is going for his, actually, Western Reclaim over here. There's large groupings of Reclaim essentially everywhere on the map. Our players are fighting over them as fast as they can. Constant transporting outbound from both teams here. Transport coming out from Snowy for this northeastern position, going for a nice little, a bit of Reclaim and a bunch of T1 facilities with a nice little walled off T1 PD. Love to see that because it will secure this area for the time being, especially with the early harass that will most likely come from Mock's Commander. And in the west, like I said, those look like Team 2's Game Ender has secured that side of the map for the time being. There are a couple of engineers back here, but there is a nice little Scorcher online coming after those engineers. Engineers don't care about facilities, only caring about mass, trying to deny it against their opponent and scoop it up for themselves. There's a nice little Mech Marine here in the corner for Yoji, but it's not really doing a whole lot for the time being. It's kind of acting as essentially as a scout next to the actual scout that is the Hummingbird Air Scout. We do see, actually, it does look like on the eastern side of the things, Freedom has actually decided not to push forward and is elected to just have Snowy push in. So it's going to be a 1v1 actually on this eastern side with Sui in the northeastern corner, just scooping up mass and grabbing some mexes. We do see a couple of Thams and a nice little Selen online going after this frontline facility here for, who is this, his Batman Gray, that is Mock. And that engineer will be killed off before the facility is finished off, which means Team 1 will be denied this position. And the first upgrade online, or coming online here, is Artifacts in the middle. He's actually left his main base, which is good to see that he's actually left, considering he's the middle player. But we do see, of course, Team 2 has started to grab the middle of the map. And in terms of map control, Team 2 is starting to lead, especially with this significant portion of the eastern side grabbed by Snowy 801. And we do, wow, I mean, talk about spam facilities. Snowy is just spamming the, hey, you should probably finish this one first and then go for that one. But I don't know why that's like that. But anyway, those units have been given orders to engage. Mock is on an upgrade as we speak, so rooted to the spot. Thams are moving to intercept. And it does look like the Zooey might be positioned. Oh, it does get killed off there. That's definitely unfortunate. Could have used the artillery to try to at least annoy Mock's commander. But it does look like they are going to group around Snowy, and Snowy's going to engage personally. That gun upgrade is going to cause huge issues here for Snowy on the eastern side, but there's a lot of spam. And when I say a lot of spam, I mean a lot of spam factories on that eastern side. He's an air player too, so putting a lot of mass and energy into land means he's going to be delayed in going for his T2 upgrade if he so chooses to do so, which I don't see anybody, either of those backline players, going for T2. Team 1, same over here, and we do see the upgrades started here for Yoji. In the west, that 2v1 commander proving to be very beneficial here for Team 1, being able to push against Team 2's forces. Gun, speed and range coming online here for Game Ender in the middle, and T2 coming on the way here for Fong. Stealth actually on the way here for Artifacts. He might just skip all the way to Nano. We do see engagement in the east against Mock's commander. Mock is still going for that upgrade. Probably should have retreated, but unfortunately here Snowy will get the first kill of the game. Actually probably could pull his forces back at least a little bit. The order will be given too late, and all of those Thams will be killed off in that engagement. But Snowy will claim the first scalp of the game against Team 1 at 7.5 minutes. And now it is a 4v5 in favor of Team 2. We do see Freedom moving into the east. Looks like he's going for more T1 land facilities to assist with pumping out units, I would assume. But all the way back here, I don't know if that's really beneficial. And they're going to be adjacent to those mass extractors, so you're not going to be able to fully ring them. I don't know if that's his goal or not, but don't know what he's planning to do with those. We do see in the west, is that Zavatar. I want to say Savitar from the Flash series. That's whenever I see his name, my brain has to like stop. No, that's not his name. And it does look like the gun upgrade has been stopped for the time being. He desperately needs it considering he's facing down soon Tomb Comms, but it does look like Yoji's going to rotate east and try to assist his team of Artifacts. And Artifacts is going for Nano, so gun, stealth / Nano almost immediately without even engaging an opponent first. Definitely interesting to see. And those forces coming out of that spam facility in the east for Snowy, just punishing Team 1 on this eastern side. Sui now the land player designated. We do see T2 land online. Bunch of pillars starting to roll out of those factories and start to establish frontline positions very, very quickly. And that will boost those defenses here for Team 1, at least for the time being. So we're going for a... I don't know what he's doing over there. Anyway, just kind of hanging out next to that mass extractor. And no real calm-on-calm engagements besides the one in the east that already happened. T2 almost done here for Fong, which means they'll be able to build some Utashallers and some missile launchers and artillery and whatnot in the middle to try to hunker that down. Where now we see an attack engulfing the western side of the middle here for Team 1's Zavatar, sending all of his forces eastward. Leaves a giant hole for Game Ender to exploit. Unfortunately, he didn't even go for that gun upgrade, which means it's going to be stock v stock. And all those forces now splitting up to intercept east and west, trying to at least secure the supply lines here for the middle player of Fong. And we do see the pings go down here for Zavatar saying, hey, we should probably go after that commander. And they might. We do see some bombers have called in some artillery, some ordnance, excuse me, not artillery, to go after those units outbound from Zavatar. And Yoji actually going to come in with his little Lobos and force this group of units back. It does look like Zavatar is going to retreat in the face of those bombers. Needs a little bit more AA online. Does have some Sky Slammers, but probably could benefit from a little bit more. And fire is starting to rain down on that commander, and he's being forced back. Team 2's Game Ender now going to go for a gun upgrade once again. Don't know why he stopped it, moved over there, and then started again. Maybe he just didn't have the build power to really do anything with it. But gun speed and range coming online for Fong as well in the middle. And he's going to barrel. He's just going to force artifacts possibly to engage, or at least hold them off for the time being. That nano gun comm is going to be very annoying for Fong to deal with. But he does have T2, so he has a little bit more hit points. And he has actually the exact same amount of hit points as Team 1's artifacts. And, of course, artifacts going to be regenerating at 78. Tactical missile going to be starting here for Fong. Not going to go for nano. Very interestingly, usually we see nano, especially on that front line. We don't see tactical missile till later. But maybe he has an idea of what he wants to do with it. Maybe try to harass the eco here for somebody. But there are a couple of zappers online, at least one of them, that will stop some missile incursions for the time being. Speed and range upgrades still stopped here for Game Ender. And I don't see much of anything else on that western side for action. A lot of it's happening in the east with some of these stingers. I don't like stingers. I make that point every time I see them. They're just not great gunships. I mean, when you have nothing, it's better than something. Sorry, something's better than nothing. But I just don't like them. Either go for Volthus, go for Renegades. Spectres, I think. I don't know. I feel like Volthus and Spectres are almost tied in my mind for Beck's gunship in terms of T2. And then it's Renegade. And then it's Stingers. But it looks like those gunships outbound to the west, possibly going after this group of forces here. There's a nice little flak cannon here for the Ascendant for Freedom. It looks like he is pumping out T2 units in the back. He's gone straight for T3 and is pumping out Blazes. Probably would benefit from a Harbinger once in a while, but he is getting those tanks online to reinforce that front line, which is starting to slowly collapse. This facility was designed for just pumping out T1, and then there's a couple upgraded to T2 for those Ilshis. Going to force back those tanks outbound from Sui. Definitely think Team 2 Snowy's goal is to just hold off his opponents for as long as possible, benefit from all of this mass, and then turn it into something else, what I imagine. I think that's his idea, is just holding off the east. And we can see in the west, similarly, the exact same thing is happening. But comms are not on the front line here for Team 1, and this could embolden Team 2's Game Ender to push. There are a lot of Ilshis online now. Actually, those are Hoplites, not Ilshis, because they're Cybran, not Seraphim. And we do see those tanks engage. But they're going to engage essentially not necessarily for no reason, but I mean, yeah, you'll put some units out of position here for Team 2's Freedom, but besides that, nothing was really gained out of this, maybe except a couple of Team 1 Mechs points were taken out. I mean, a couple of mass a second does make a difference, but I just don't know if it was really worth all of the investment to just shove a bunch of T2 pillars. You could have sent in those Riptides, you could have sent in something else to really go after all of this mass, but they're not even targeting the Mechs points. One of them is gone. That Blaze is about to die here pretty shortly. And all of those Blazes are going to rip apart the rest of those pillars. And so 3 Mechs for a squadron, not squadron, a couple squads of bricks. I don't really think that was worth it. Oh, no, that was definitely not worth it. All the mass left behind definitely benefits Team 2. Stealth coming online here for Game Ender. He's finally finished that gun upgrade. His radar got picked off, but it does look like not Jackie is coming in from the west, providing a nice little firing line of PD. He has to be very careful because there are, a couple of tanks here. If he pushes forward, it's not going to be super easy to take out. But luckily here for him, there aren't a lot of missile launchers in that mix. There's a couple of those rocket bots, but they're not missile launchers. T3 online here for artifacts in the middle, going for loyalists. Love to see loyalists being used running around the map. Would love to see them against the tactical missiles, of course, because they could kill a comm, or a lot of units, to be fair, if the missile launchers or comm don't move. But he's not a Billy Nuke commander because he's Seraphim, so that's not really a risk. He'll take some hit points if the missile comes back at him, but it won't kill him outright like the Billy Nuke would. And those loyalists starting to be surrounded here by Mantis, but it does look like they're able to deal with those right quick. And this Triumph position for Team 2 does get taken out. And Team 2 is a little bit ahead in the mass game for the time being in terms of generated. They're about 30 or so on average, so not a huge amount. It will start to materialize sooner rather than later, of course, but for the time being, Team 1 is doing pretty alright, especially considering they are missing some mass points in the east. And there are some mass points missing here for Team 2 in the middle. Missile is outbound, going after that T2 Mechs. It will get killed off before it lands, and Artifacts might build another little zapper. That's the benefit of these zappers, of course. They have a little bit better range, but when they reload to fire again, it's there's a higher chance that they'll actually shoot the missile down. So I wasn't aware of that. Somebody in one of the videos commented about that, actually pointing that out. And I do agree, the zapper, in terms of dealing with just a singular missile, zappers all the way, but if you're dealing with multiple missiles at the same time, volcanoes are the way to go. We do see those Ilshis just ramming down all of their rapid fire nonsense against these pillars. I think I saw a Titan in there as well. I mean, they look like Titan Rex. Yeah, maybe they are Titans. There's some pillars. Oh, I thought I said, yeah, no, there are pillars. No, Titans. Okay, that's what I thought. Nice group of Titans coming out once again. Nice little bit of reclaim here for either team to scoop up. There are already engineers from both teams on station to scoop that up. You gotta scoop up that reclaim as quickly as you can, because if you don't, somebody else is gonna do it before you. Fong dealing with an incursion from Artifacts. It's not really gonna get anywhere. He's gonna get some nice veterancy on board that commander. And the Loyalists to the west are not going to engage, but they're just receiving fire from the heavens. And, yeah, that one died. This one could easily get out of range. Well, not get out of range, but at least try to get out of dodge. Bombers inbound, going after that mass extractor. It has taken out the zapper, but unfortunately here for Team 2, Team 1 has those Loyalists, those redirection, that deflection. I feel like redirection or redirect, whatever you want to call it, but anyway, that's just the semantics here. The missile is outbound. Will it go after Fong's commander? Yes, it does not kill him, but it deals a ton of damage to him. He'll probably notice that. Cybern player plus missile hit me that far away most likely equals redirect. And that is the benefit of the Cybern faction. They can deal with tactical missiles very, very effectively in different ways. And now we see T3 gunships online here for Yoji, going after all of those Ilshis. The Ilshis just constantly just won't stop being produced and stop firing. They just annihilate a whole lot of stuff. Definitely the unit you want to keep building, especially when you get after T3, because they just rip stuff to shreds. Would have liked to see some AA come out of these facilities. Yeah, those look like there are some being built as we speak. And this facility has proved to be such a thorn in Team 1's side. You can see all of this attention, 2 players' attention, is diverted just over here. There are some reinforcements here from Freedom, which I would love for him to gift over to Snowy, because this is where most of his micro is going. And but look at that. Look at those Titans just get annihilated by those Ilshis. They're just devastating. And there it goes. One more Titan turns around, and it's dead. But Game Ender's defeated by Savitar. Sorry, Zavatar, not Savitar. It looks like it was killed off by some unit engagements here. Rhinos and whatever the case may be. Team 2 loses their Western player, and everything is given over to Jackie. Jackie now the de facto Western player. And it's now a 4v4 game here at 18.5 minutes. We do see Zavatar in the northwest in the pond, hiding out to protect himself. I don't blame him there, because you know, if your comm dies, then you can't really play the game anymore because you're dead. It's not like oh shoot, what's not BTR? What's the what's that game called? It's another kind of Total Annihilation kind of spin-off. Oh, what's it called? The name is escaping me because I don't see very matches of that anymore. I used to watch it a decent amount, but I can't for my life remember what it's called. What's that game called? Anyway, oh no, Beyond All Reason. BAR. There it is. I was like BTR. Anyway, if your comm dies, essentially you can either resurrect it or scoop up its mass, and you're still in the game. So I definitely like that feature, but there definitely is something to be said about your human or your person is inside of an ACU. If that dies, then you die, and you can't really do anything anymore. So I do like that aspect as well. Missile outbound going for this mechs in the west, and it was redirected once again by the Loyalist. Oh, Fong is going to receive some not great things. TMD online, and now it is registered that a missile redirection does detect itself as an enemy missile. Usually the FOF, the friend or foe tag on board that missile would say, oh, it's a friendly missile, don't shoot at it. But once it gets redirected, the friend or foe tag gets corrupted or whatever the case may be, and then your TMD can target it. So it's not a bad idea if you do have a tactical missile launcher or a Billy Nuke launcher. You have a couple of TMD next to you just to protect yourself from any sort of siren redirection nonsense. We do see now a group of Othams online have replaced the Ilshis. And man, Snowy is just pumping these things out, will not stop. More facilities constantly coming online. Snowy's actually in the east producing those Othams himself, or at least assisting in the manner. Would like to see you produce more Ilshis though on top of it, just because it is a nice unit to have. But I do understand converting all the T3. But those Othams do engage, and multiple lines of PD coming online. But they're going to be run down by those Othams. I do see a couple lightning tanks and a flat cannon as well in there. That does get microed or targeted immediately by those Titans, being like, nope, not dealing with that kind of AA nonsense. And it does look like those Othams will continue to roll northward. And I would like to see them direct westward, actually, to take out these facilities right here. But they are going to go after PD first. And Team 1 losing a lot of territory and frontline support on this eastern side. They do have a couple Perseus coming online, but they should have been online a couple of minutes ago, to be honest. And in the west, nothing's really happened after the death of Jackie. We do have some gunships in the back line here for Team 1's Yoji going after T2 Mechs. That one's upgrading to T3. That one's dead. That's got to hurt. T3 Mechs is the main target. They're going after Freedom's mass. The only issue with that is he's not that much of a huge player right now. There's a couple of T2 pillars right here from Yoji as well, but he's not a huge player right now. And those look like those ASFs are giving up to go in for a suicide run to go after that broadsword. Those look like some AAs being spanned up as well by those T1 engineers. T2 Mechs gets taken out. That's always got to hurt. And now they're targeting Snowy's forces and P-Gens. And that P-Gen is going to go down unless the AA can come in and save it, which I don't think it's going to, unfortunately. ASF's trying to get in here, but there's just too many ASFs blocking Team 2 from getting in. And there goes that P-Gen, takes out 2 T2 P-Gens as well. And the mass here for Team 2 is just starting to evaporate. Team 2 is actually dropped below Team 1 quite a significant amount, almost 200 mass, about 150, 160 on average. T3 AA being spammed up as well here by the other air player of actually the only air player of Jackie, or not Jackie, excuse me, they're not Jackie, they're not Jackie. But the mass is just being assassinated here by Team 1. And it does look like the ASFs are called off due to the AA being built up. Flat coming online. That's a broadsword. One side of the T2 Mechs and then has grabbed it. Otham sitting in here. Probably not worth your time targeting those broadswords. You could take out another Mechs to the west, but does look like that broadsword is taken out. And with that, let's take a look at the mass game and the overall game. Team 1 at 850. We'll call it Team 2 at 700. They're kind of bouncing back and forth. It probably might be due to the fact that Snowy has a little bit of a power problem right now, so he's bouncing back and forth. But so essentially Team 1 is up at least 150 and at times almost 200. Team 1 at 4 players left. Team 2 at 4 players left as well. And map control definitely sits with Team 2, especially given the fact that they now control the entire eastern edge of the map and are now pushing westward against Sui and Mock's old base that is now under the control of Yoji. I would kind of feel like Yoji should gift this over here to Sui so that way he can micro it a lot better, especially because he's focusing so much on land. And it's UEF and UEF. I mean, also the fact, Yoji's also UEF, but still it's a lot easier to micro when they're this close to one another. But there are large groups of Perseus starting to be coming online here for Team 1. And those Autumns trying to skirt around, but there's a group of broadswords online. They'll actually fall back for the time being. There isn't a whole lot of AA. There's a couple of flak and a lightning tank online, but those Perseus are going to engage and actually retreat and engage at the same time. This definitely sides with the Perseus, especially with the numbers. And Team 2 Snowy will be forced to retreat, and all of those units will have to fall back and regroup. And this is a huge win here for Team 1, as a lot of those tanks have been taken out with the flak as well. This will definitely give enough time for Team 1 to rebuild defenses and to get some more T2 PD or T3 PD, in this case those Ravagers, online. In the middle of the map here, we see a bunch of tickle cannons online going after T1 units. Artifacts, builds, and experimental. It's most likely a crab or a monkey, and he went for the crab. I figured if it's this long into the game and he's in the middle, he probably is going to go for crab. He's actually going to go for a bug too, very interestingly. We see those ASF starting to be an oppressing force here for Team 1, going after, well, not them, but being used to aggressively go after everything Team 2 owns. And just goes to show. The Mechs have been rebuilt for the most part here for Team 2, but it's just devastating here. They have caught up a decent amount, though. With Team 1 focusing a little bit more on military prowess versus ecoing up, which, there's an argument to be said for both, but it does look like there is a horde of hives being built here by Zavatar. Maybe we'll see a Scathus coming online or artillery or something here pretty shortly. There goes that Soul Ripper just going. It's going. That speed is being very, very quick here for production here. Already at 25%. Team 1 owns, no, I wouldn't say they own the air. I would say they have an advantage, but I don't say they would own the air. So it definitely is a little bit of a question of why would they go for bug right now. I feel like building another crab would definitely cement the ground game, and then they can go after something else. But the ASF's being drawn into a little bit of a trap here, being targeted by the AA from Team 2. And this will force that ASF grouping back. Team 1 needs to be very careful, because Team 2, the more that Team 1 focuses on air and attacks the main conglomerate of bases, the more AA gets built, the harder it is to siege with air, and the more important it gets for land in this game. Strat Bomber over the top, going after those units in nice little line, but that's a ton of flak that bomber is flying through. You can see it's trying to stay out of range of that flak, but still, and as bombers come into range, they're just ripped. Those hit points are being ripped to shreds. Crab over here to the west being a very, very nice little guardian here, but those Harbingers are going for that main base here for Yoji, and the attack in the east does not go anywhere, and it does look like it will be emboldened at least a little bit. Those Harbingers are trying to get into the main base. Unfortunately, they're out now. Broadswords just kind of hanging out here, and they're going to walk to their deaths, unfortunately. And it does look like those Strat Bombers have found other targets to go after, but they'll deal with that flak here pretty shortly. They've already killed, this one's killed off 3 units. Flak trying to do what it can. You can see those hit points just flying off those Strat Bombers. And the crab punishing the rest of that flak for still being in range. Artifacts builds the bug here to the north. Please wake up, says Snowy. Talking to Cobra. I don't know if Cobra fell asleep at the wheel or something. He has an SMD online in the east. That's nice to have. I don't see any nukes coming online for Team 1 yet. Oh, nope. Sorry, excuse me. Nope, there is one right here. Definitely a nice little play. He'll protect both himself, and that's it, just himself. It would have been better to build it right here in the middle and protect at least 4 bases. This one's the only one that would be in range of that that nuke if that SMD was right here. I feel like the nuke might actually go eastbound now and try to just cut off Snowy's production facilities in the east. we are seeing a little bit more momentum coming out from Team 2 on the western side here for Not Jackie. Again, nice little PD lineup. Would like to see some, just a couple of Ravagers kind of sprinkled in there for some long-range PD action. But that bug is coming in to intercept all the production here in the east for Snowy. And I don't know where Snowy's commander went. He fell back here. That's probably definitely the best idea. The ASFs, of course, being the guard for that gunship. And now the gunship assistants just now ripping through everything here. A big bug being escorted by a couple broadswords. Not a couple, but a decent amount of broadswords. I feel like there's a comment about a queen and a bug or something that I could make. You know, these are like the knights and they're protecting the bug. I don't know, there's a joke in there. I just am not cultured enough or not knowledgeable enough to make that joke. But ASFs do fight essentially for the first time of the game, at least in large numbers. That crab also moving in here on the east. They're cutting all those supply lines here for Team 2. And those gunships rushing to the back, going after this facility over here. And are they going to keep going? Maybe they tried to snipe the commander that was back here, but it doesn't really go that way. The ASFs did win the fight here for Team 2, and they're going to go after the gunships once again, buying a little bit of time for that bug to get away. But this was definitely the more dangerous of a target, just due to the fact that the gunships could take out more mass points. But that bug now trying to chase the army over here, going to be a little bit shoot away by all of that flak outbound here from Team 2 Snowy. And those ASFs will be given orders to go after that here if they haven't done so already. Stingers are now outbound. They're probably going to go after these Percies right here. Or maybe they'll just go straight after the crab. And that Soul Ripper is trying to get out of range. The ASFs are not going to go for it. Don't know. I mean, you probably could have gone after that. Now in the east, the Snowy's 801's facility is being walked down by Percy's. This base, I would presume, was only supposed to last for a short amount of time, not long game. But 30 minutes, though, that's a lot of time for that one facility just to stay online. And he got a kill with that facility and all that, so definitely worth its weight in gold. But this Megalith has seen better days, though. Author's just kind of walking on by, just kind of hanging out. Of course, you got to watch out for the crash damage that will occur here pretty shortly once the Megalith is killed off. Feel like walking it back probably would be helpful. I mean, when the engagement started, but I think at this point it's just going to be donated mass. Goes off an Otham and a couple of other assisting units, and that huge Percy push is pushing in the east. Team 1 on the western side, besides going after Game Ender, kind of just hung out, and I don't blame him because he doesn't really have to go for anything. And Experimental is online. It's nice little monkey. He's going to go for a Quantum Gateway next. Shield's going to be established here pretty shortly. Monkey's also being established as well here by Team 1. How's that nuke loading? It's almost loaded. Team 2, do you know about it? They don't know about it. Do you have SMD online is the question. Other than that one over there. SMD in the back line. That one's almost loaded. This one, there's nothing in this base here for Fong. So at least for now, the Air Player and Snowy 801's facility will be pretty much fine. The range that that SMD has. So if the nuke lands right here, definitely would cover Fong, but Fong can easily be edge nuked, so that'll be something to watch out there for when that nuke does launch. But now the Stinger's coming in, taking out all of the bricks first, going after the higher valued units, going after the units that just have a lot of hit points, and there actually are some broadswords in the mix as well. So a mix of T2 and T3 gunships. I would prefer just straight T3 broadswords, but you know, that's just me. Okay, also, probably, there you go. Also, you probably should move your broadswords. Nuke will launch. It's going for Fong's facility and his commander. That SMD is going to be, oh, it's going to be close. I think he might have edged it out just barely. Let's see. Yeah, because I think it was right here. It's going to be very interesting to see if Fong survives. Fong does move. That's good. He does get out of range. He will see that nuke coming straight for him, so he should be able to get out of range. Let's see if that nuke gets shot down or not. Oh, it does not. He does get edge nukes, and that chicken that's being produced will be at least halted for the time being, but all these P-gens, everything in this base is gone. I am flattered. Kaboom! Fong has been knocked out for the time being in this game. Now the ASF Horde resides with Team 2. Team 2 is now in air control. Actually, they are in air control. I don't know if they're dominance. Yeah, 117. Yoji's at 22, 24. So definitely air dominance here for Team 2. But they also have that the bug that they can rely on, which, I mean, probably not going to, but they have it. Probably could have funneled that mass into something else. But I do love the secondary air grid being built and the tertiary air grid. Just a couple of one-off facilities here for Team 1's Yoji. Just kind of separating them all out, making sure that there's no giant cascade. That is, of course, the downside with this. But I do love what Jackie's doing. He's kind of stretching it out a little bit, so it's not as much as Cascadey. But still, definitely dangerous having all of the P-gens right here, and it just kind of, there it goes, see you bye. SMD now getting some PD protection against the Telemazer commanders that can be built here by Savitar and Artifacts. Sorry, Zavatar. Maybe it is pronounced Zavatar, but I just want to distinctly pronounce it as Zavatar with the Z. With 2 monkeys to the west, the AA cannons on board those monkeys aren't not great, but given there's other T2 and T3 AA over top of them, or underneath them, I should say, those gunships kind of got wrecked here for Team 2. But at this point, I feel like I'm going to speed it up a little bit, just due to the fact that there's really not a lot going on. Of course, the monkeys in the west, and Snowy has, of course, fallen back, but starting to regroup at least a little bit here in the east. Team 1, what do you have on the docket here, Fat Boy? Of course, you have the nuke that you're still loading. 42,000 mass killed. That's a decent nuke. That is definitely a decent nuke. What does Team 2 have? Snowy 801 Business Experimental. It's a chicken. And SMD. No SMD as online as of yet. SMD. There's nothing really going on for Team 2 as well. So Team 1, I feel like just because of the nuke for Team 1, they're in the driver's seat for the game. Yeah, they're being, of course, more defensive, but they've had to be for the most of the game just due to the fact that Snowy pushed significantly on that eastern side. And now is where is this nuke going? Going after the western defenses. SMD is online but not loaded, unfortunately, here for Team 2, which means that will get taken out, especially with the 2 monkeys coming online. And those, oh, broadsword's going to die to the explosion. Oh, there it goes. Broadswords aren't going to get out of range. Kaboom! Takes out both the shield emplacements, most of the PD as well, and leaves a whole huge gap for Team 2 to deal with. Starting laser says, or at least the scoreboard tells me he's building a laser, and it's going up pretty quickly. He'll build teleportation most likely, or he'll just walk his comm down with cloaking. Could do either or. Probably will do the teleportation though. Team 2 probably has a Omni online, which they actually don't. There's it is upgrading to T3 as we speak, but it is not there yet. ASF's come and try to protect the dual monkey lords approaching from the west, but there is a crab and it's retreating for the moment. Lots of PD being established here by not Jackie. Those tickle cannons. Again, it's better than nothing, but they're still tickle cannons, so large numbers definitely for those need to be employed. Dual SMDs here, being loaded both by Snowy and by Fong to defend the middle portion of the map, at least their nice little upper plateau area. The crab has turned around, going after all of the incoming forces. Needs to focus down the monkeys immediately, and it's going to retreat. That's a lot of time that you could have been devoting to going after that monkey lord, but ASF's going to move in over top, which means there's probably gunships coming into range here pretty shortly. There's a lot of AA escorting those monkeys, so the crab will have to turn around once again. So much time wasted not going after the first monkey. Definitely a missed opportunity there. The crab will either die or be very no, it's going to die. It's going to die. The first crab, let's see. Will the monkey die? No, it will not. So yeah, definitely have the crab just focus fire on the first monkey. That one at least would be dead at the moment. And the PD being annihilated by those bricks, of course. Large group, or smaller group, I should say, of broadswords moving in. Going to take out the first monkey. More PD being established everywhere here by Not Jackie. And going to, do some work here, to be fair. That when you have large numbers of anything, they do large amount of work. But the monkeys being target priority number 1, of course. But I think at this point it's essentially just a mass gift. A couple of PD have been taken out, but realistically nothing of value is lost besides the crab. But that's realistically it. The crab could have done a little bit more work, I feel like. I love how the broadswords just left, and now the bricks are being ripped to shreds by tickle cannons. And there go those hit points, you know, decently quickly given the amount, but still. The gunships are just going to run headfirst into T3 AA fire. They're going to target down all of those bouncers. They don't want large number of bouncers to be established, which I don't blame them in that regard, but there's, again, stuff that could shoot the stuff that can shoot at you first, and then shoot at everything else. That way you don't have to worry about being constantly fired upon. Another chicken online here for Fong. And, of course, we had saw that chicken being built in the east, and it's being forced all the way northward with the dual bug that is Team 1 with the Fat Boy as well. There's a chicken dancing over here trying to get around that bug. But Team 1 doing a very good job on trying to hold back Team 2 on this eastern side. Probably shouldn't park your feet there, bug, because there's some chicken. And the chicken is shooting at the bug. Oh, that was, I guess, fight mid-first, says Snowy. And those bugs are giving orders to get back up. Nuke actually launched over here. Actually, that's a Billy Nuke that got launched at Team 1. That'd be outbound from... Not Jackie? Wait, hold on. Oh, no, Swee got killed. Excuse me. I don't know if that was a Control K or not. Most likely a Control K, given the lack of damage around him. Yeah, there's some... Yeah, it looks like it was a Control K. When I went into my no menus mode, I missed the Control K. But it's now a 3v4 in favor of Team 2. And both of those chickens are killed off. They almost got the monkey. 2,000 hit points left on board that. But the ASFs come in and kill both of those bugs. But Team 1's Yoji definitely has a lot more eco to play with. At 800, almost 900 mass income. Has a satellite online. And a lot of shielding around Team 1's Artifacts Calm, but he's not producing... Oh, he's producing his own missile launcher. And there's the scav that started construction here in the west. I feel like Team 1 could devote a lot more attention to this. Share the weight of building that. But that monkey is going to just keep charging. It will die to... I think it might die to this sniper over here. That Autumn could easily come in and kill it up. But oh, the sniper gets a shot off. Doesn't matter. Monkey Lord gets him. Veterancy, get some more HP to save it. The map's starting to cut down in the diagonal direction from northeast to southwest. Team 2 owns a little bit more than 50%. Team 1 owns a little bit less than that, but it's not by much. Large groups of ASFs here for Team 2 and a large group of broadswords as well. Lots of gunships this game in the form of T3 and T4. Harbingers open fire to go after the Monkey Lord, but that Monkey Lord's going to rip through all of those units relatively quickly. Lots of Asylum T2 mobile shields, but again, they're shields. They can't do any offensive damage. They can only prevent damage. Another nuke outbound here from Team 1's Yoji. And there goes that first monkey, and there goes the second one. That's going to die very, very quickly. This position's still holding on here. But it does look like the broadswords looks like they are going to retreat. Nuke goes over here for the ASFs. Tried to snipe the ASFs while they were sitting there. Actually, no, it actually keeps going further in deep. Chicken going to receive some firepower to the face. That's never a good thing. Looks like he either just put that experimental or something. But actually does get killed off just barely. Fong was almost in the blast radius as well. He got a little bit singed by that. Team 2 loses a chicken. But that's not a lot to lose because the mass is on Team 2's side of the map anyways. Let's see if there's anything else going on. How's that Scathis going? It's in the yellow, so it's a little under a 3%. Second nuke online, of course, loading as we speak. This nuke killed off 116,000 mass. Artillery being built in the north here. Trying to fire in multiple different directions in terms of artillery, in terms of a game bender, in terms of nuke. I would love to see Team 1, again, focus on the Scathis, just one target. Just like, hey, let's all just build this and go from there. Because Team 2 is not realistically prepared for that. And they have some shielding, but they are going for satellite spam, what looks like here from Not Jackie. And he's building a lot of shields as well, so maybe they did see these. Oh, well, there's a satellite over top, so that would explain the shielding. Artillery will be started here pretty shortly here by Team 2's Snowy 801. And those ASFs are escorting some units here in the middle. Looks like they're escorting that chicken. A lot of AA in terms of mobile, and the stationary is online. The chicken trying to kill all that off as we speak. The flak on board those chickens are not great. They're only good for like a couple of gunships, but the lightning tanks definitely add a nice little flavor text to the broadsword, being like, hey, you should probably not stop. You probably should stop firing on us. And I love the engagement here by Team 2. Use the gunships as the bait and kill all the ASF slobs. Team 2 has air dominance, and that is not going to look good. Team 1 still has a lot of AA just everywhere, so it's not a huge issue, but still, that amount of gunships is very, very dangerous. That crab has been... Oh, it's a different crab. Oh, they sent that earlier. That's right, they sent that crab earlier out. But chicken just going to run after that fat boy. It is in range, and the fat boy has stopped moving. That fat boy will die to that chicken, unfortunately, here. And even if the chicken dies, it accomplishes its mission, and the fat boy is dead. Gunships moving in. Wonder what they're going after, targeting anything and everything in their way. One of the air grids is down. Gunships, I don't know what you're going for. Looks like they're going for the artillery, possibly. But you're attacking all of the AA. I don't know what you're going after. You're going after all the cougars? That's cool, but most of you are already dead, so I don't see the point. There's so many cougars coming online, it doesn't even matter. The gunship push wasn't, I guess, worth it. ASFs come in, try to shield the rest of those gunships, but doesn't really work. Artillery is almost online here for Team 1's Yoji. Again, he has a nuke, almost a nuke, a satellite. Where is that satellite? Back here? I know, I saw it running overhead somewhere. I just don't see it. Oh, it's right here next to Yoji. Nuke, satellite, Duke, lost an air grid. Team 1 also has another missile launcher, nuclear capable, and Scathis is about half done. Another nuke outbound here. Might be going after this position here. Might be just trying to kill Fong in particular. Let's see if he can manage it. Nuke is about to land on top of him. Oh, it's going to kill Fong. There it goes. No, it's just barely out of range. Look at that. It was barely out of range. Got singed a little bit. Starting teleporter for artifacts. Other nuke is outbound from artifacts. This time it's going after this position. SMD. Oh, it's going to finish. Oh, that's going to finish. That sucks for Team 1. Almost took out some defenses here, but there it goes. It gets shot out of the sky. Second satellite is online, going for the third. The Novak satellite focusing on the air grid here for not Jackie. Artillery now online here for Team 2 Snowy. Looks like they built that relatively at the same time that the Duke finished for Team 1's Yoji. But the shields are starting to fall here for artifacts just due to the fact that he's, of course, focusing on the teleporter upgrade. But second satellite coming overhead here for Team 2. And that's Gathis. Has a decent amount of shielding around it. Needs more. Always needs more. But the amount of hives definitely will assist in construction of shielding if they need it. But a huge push by both Team 2's Freedom and Snowy. They're starting to collapse Team 1's front line in the east. Dual chickens as well as just the horde of Harbingers is en route. And this might be just a clean sweep here pretty shortly. Team 1 needs more defenses. Shield pops back offline just because the teleporter has continued its production. Lots of T3 shields that can easily be taken out. And artillery raining across the map here for both teams. Looks like the artillery focusing on the air grid for Team 2. And Team 2's artillery focusing on the air grid for Team 1. Yeah, it looks like it's focusing on the air grid for Team 1. But those chickens are pushing in. This base originally owned by Sui has been taken out. Crab has brought itself over here to assist with measures on the eastern side. It was in the middle, but now... Oh, actually, that's the second crab. Never mind. But dual chickens will definitely kill off that crab, especially due to the fact there's a lot of Harbingers raining in all the time here. And I don't know. I feel like Snowy could hand these off to Freedom, but I feel like the benefit of microing the experimentals alone is that it's just a little bit, oh, I'll move a little bit, move a little bit, move a little bit. Crab takes out the first chicken, but will die to the second. Team 1's eastern side has collapsed, and they need more defenses online sooner rather than later. The Scathus is almost finished, though, so credit to Team 1. Probably could have finished that a lot sooner, to be fair, and that would already be online. But, ooh, there it goes. Oh, it takes out some ASFs flying by. Shielded that mass fab, but unfortunately the second artillery will hit the mass fabs, unfortunately. At least a little bit of eco for Team 1 gets singed there. Second crab comes into range. Oh, shoot. You just noticed the Scathus there, Team 2. It's almost online. That's the one benefit. It's almost online. And it is online, excuse me. The mass storages get taken up by that artillery shot. And Team 2 does have a huge shield grid online, so they're fine for that moment. But, Team 1, I mean, they have 2 Monkey Lords online now. That should be enough. The crab's going to fall here. It doesn't matter realistically what happens with that. It's just the 2 monkeys will definitely be able to rip through the Harbingers, and the line of PD also as well will assist. But Team 1 is losing tons and tons of territory very, very quickly here. And now the satellite's focusing on the Scathus. Scathus opening fire at Team 2. I'm surprised that Game Ender, well, he's dead now, but I was surprised that Game Ender wasn't the one constructed that Game Ender. But the shield grid is starting to collapse. SMD will get taken out. That's got to hurt. There are more SMDs, of course, but they're targeting the Novax centers here. And Jackie needs more shielding online immediately. Air grid is starting to be exposed to the environment, or the weather. The weather being just watering can of the Scathus. But dual artillery is online for Snowy 801. And if they're not targeting that Scathus, I don't know what you're doing. The shielding is starting to collapse, though, here for Team 1. So more assistance definitely would be beneficial here for Zavatar. Satellite's trying to take out the emitters. Another nuke launches here for Team 1. Where is it going? It's going for this position, but the SMD is still alive for the time being. Just one shield will protect it. Satellite could easily divert over here and easily kill that off. Fong's SMD will definitely protect the air grid here for Team 2. Oh, it's just... Oh, is it going to be... Is it going to hit it? Looks like the defense satellite does rotate around. SMD does come offline. This SMD still online as well. Assist shield says artifacts. And artillery raining in all the time. These shields are about to collapse. The SMD does shoot the nuke. And looks like there was another SMD. No, looks like it was that one. Yeah, looks like that's the only one that's online. So that's the only one that it could be. Team 2 gets saved by that SMD. Oh, the artillery is also exposed. They need to build more shields immediately. Oh, Pigeons were the ones targeted. They do lots of AoE damage to kill off a lot of the build power. Oh, got to get that T3 shield online. There it goes. And there's another Scathus fire outbound. Team 1 loses the Scathus. It gets shot by the artillery with the assistance of the Novaxes. Got him, says Snowy 801. And Team 2 looks like they lost not Jackie from Artifacts' commander. It's now a 3v3 game here. Team 2 needs to divert some attention to this. He might get out of there unscathed. Oh, last of the artillery fire rains in around that artillery. And it looks like Team 2 can breathe a sigh of relief now that the Scathus has been removed from the equation. Artifacts is still fine for now. There's still, of course, that satellite from Team 1's Yoshi to deal with. But Strap Bomber's moving in. They will not hit Artifacts. He gets away. But now in the west, all of those forces diverted to the east have now actually gone in the east, have diverted all the way around to the west. So if the artillery didn't kill off the Scathus, the land units would have. And Team 1 is losing on both sides of the map here. They diverted all of their attention over here and faked them out and went westward. Love that move from Team 2. Love that tactical play over here. We have 2 comes in the north. Zavatar going for his laser upgrade. Artifacts looks like he might be teleporting once again. Where are you going, sir? You're going all the way here for that artillery, going after the pigeon directly. You might be a little bit too close to that, to be fair. Well, maybe he's out of range. I don't know. But I think the damage is still done. Team 1 doesn't have realistically any way. They have the 1 artillery with the Duke, but with 2, is it 3 artillery done? Yeah, it's 3 artillery done here for. Oh, that shot takes out one of those pigeons. Okay, here comes Artifacts. T1 PD being spammed up immediately, and T2 as well. Artifacts might need to cancel that. Might need to cancel that teleportation. Oh, I know you want to go after the rest of those pigeons for the artillery, but he does cancel the upgrade, the teleportation. That's very smart of him. But now Zavatar's base has been wiped out. Tons and tons of not FAF boys, Monkeyloids are being produced by Artifacts for defensive measures. Strap bombers being annihilated by those ASF, and Crab not firing at the monkey. Don't know what's going on with that. Team 2 has lost 1 artillery piece, and they still have 2 more. And more PD and more shields are being established around said artillery position. 50 minutes on the clock. Now an attack from the middle. All those forces still diverted to the east. And ASF's going to get scooped up here by Snowy 801. We have some Harbingers in the backline going for Mexes. And Zavatar is still upgrading to the laser. Doesn't look like Artifacts is going to be moving anytime soon. And those monkeys have done their Artifacts commander a great service in protecting the front line. Ping's going down against Yoji. 3 satellites focusing fire. The emitter is down. Mayborn has been started, but Pigeon is the main. Just take out the nuke. That will cause an explosion. It's volatile. Artillery raining in. Looks like they're being diverted somewhere else. Shields are starting to collapse. Chicken raining itself in, just kind of like, hey, what's happening? Good looking. Yoji being focused fire by those 3 satellites. Yoji is gonna die. There he goes. Team 1 loses their highest ranked player at 51 minutes. And with that, I think Team 2 has won it. I mean, it's close. There's still that nuke. Almost loaded once again. This nuke also online somehow. The chicken, I don't know if he ignored it or something, but don't really know what happened with that. The artillery is the target here for that chicken. The chicken is still alive. There it goes. It finally dies off. Good measure. Just strikes a shield emitter right there. Harbingers, don't know what they're doing over there. Ion Storm has been activated. Doesn't look like that pigeon's in range. Oh, never mind. Scratch that. It is in range. Artifacts teleported in, going after the air grid, but Ravagers are online over there, and Team 1 recalls, seeing the writing on the wall, and that is it. Team 2 wins the game by recall, which, I mean, given a couple more minutes, they would have won it anyway, given though there's still 3 satellites overhead. There's 2 artillery pieces, most likely the 3rd one about to be completed as well. And I feel like Snowy 801 deserves MVP just because he pushed severely on this eastern side, completely disrupted Team 1's defenses on that side, forced them to focus so much over here. His Avatar, I'd say, would be underrated just due to the fact he got a Scathus online. Had it been online for maybe a couple more minutes, it definitely would have devastated Team 2, probably would have taken out the artillery at a minimum. But yeah, I feel like Snowy 801 definitely contributed the most. Of course, not Jackie dying at the end. He did a great job with the air grid, of course. But I feel like overall, I think Snowy played a little bit bigger of a role in the win here for Team 2. Let me know down in the comments if you felt the same way or not. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.